Grew up in Tijuana, grew up taking the buses from Tijuana to San Diego where my mom worked. And then we moved to San Diego when I was about 7 years old. So for me, you know, kind of the real tight urban environment in Tijuana is something that I grew up with and that was in my blood, was in my, you know, that it was very vivid to me, that riding the buses and, you know, the packed streets in Tijuana, the vendors, the pepita sellers, you know, kind of, you know, roasting the pepitas on the sidewalk and stacking them into these, you know, beautifully folded paper bags and selling them to people. And, you know, the marisco sellers and you know, just the cacophony of the street sounds in Tijuana. And then during college, you know, I learned about the beat poets, Jack Kerouac, Allen Ginsberg, and to me, you know, kind of the tone, you know, kind of reminiscing back to a time, you know, when they were young was a very powerful tone.
Fire. Poetry. At Taco Shop on 25th and Broadway.
So this is the original flyer for Taco Shop Poetry, the series in 1994, August of '94. So it was 4 readings. The first one at La Posta in the Hillcrest neighborhood of San Diego. The second one at El Gordo, this open air taco shop, very typical of taco shops in Tijuana in Mexico. And a block away from the major cultural center in Tijuana, the Centro Cultural de Tijuana. The third reading took place on Market Street in San Diego at Los Panchos, and that was also significant, you know, to be in downtown San Diego. And Market Street at the time, at least where Los Panchos was, on 9th and Market, was kind of the hard scrabble part of San Diego. It was still kind of like, it's kind of like Skid Row. It was still, you know, Skid Row part of San Diego. So it was important to go there for us and you know, kind of, in a way, pay homage to that part of town and bring poetry, music, and blend in with some of the sounds and that you hear and some of the people. And I remember at that reading in particular, this one guy, just African-American guy, kind of went up to the mic and took the mic and started babbling stuff. Well, to us it sounded like babbling, but just started going off on the mic. Wow. And we just gave him that space.
Read tacos, eat poetry, chorizo tongue fire. We are that taco shop on 25th and Broadway. We are that...
The Roberto's chain of taco shops is a unique, to San Diego, unique, you know, kind of restaurant. You know, it should go down in the history of Mexican restaurants, you know, in the country, because Roberto's kind of, it was the inspiration for like a whole series of other taco shops in San Diego. The yellow and red colored taco shop. So once Roberto's established itself, like I guess in the 1980s, late 70s, maybe 80s, you know, that was their signature, the red and yellow stripes of their restaurant. There were all kinds of other restaurants that came up like as imitators. There was the Alberto's chain, there was the Filiberto's chain. You know, we even joked that, you know, we're waiting for the Alibaba Berto's chain, we're waiting for the, you know, whatever Berto's, you know, and they all copy that color scheme. You'd see the weekly Spanish language newspapers. So to us, that was the literature of the taco shops, right? And most of them had jukeboxes in them, so that was the symphony of the taco shops, right? So when I put together this series, and when we started talking about it, our intent was not to bring culture to taco shops. It was to acknowledge that there was already culture, and to blend what we were bringing, which was the poetry audience. You know, people who go to follow all these poets and musicians, bring them to the taco shop, and they'll be hungry and they'll order food, and you know, while somebody's reading, you know, this kind of crazy poem with music, the taquero will be yelling out the order. And to mix the space of the taco shop with, you know, the taquero, the guy making the tacos at the head of the you know, he's kind of, you know, one of the characters, and all the people who come to eat and see what happens. You know, a little mixture of spaces.
We are that taco shop on Mission. We are that taco shop on Cesar Chavez. We are that taco shop on...
It seemed boring to me to do readings at coffee shops or do readings at places where, you know, something's expected, right? You know, we were kind of against the finger snapping coffee shop type reading. And as a matter of fact, you know, the manifesto for the Taco Shop poetry series, I mean, I wrote that. You know, and it begins, I can't, you know, I don't have it memorized, but I do know, I do remember the first line, you know, with feet on both sides of the border, we declare that poetry and cappuccino no more. Long live salsa and the spoken word.
We are the lost professors. We are the students talking to the burning bush. We are the...
Well, to us, growing up in a place like San Diego and living there, and at one point all the buildings in downtown San Diego had American flags on top of them, and that was, you know, kind of this effort to show the patriotism of the city to the Navy presence, the military presence in San Diego. And to this day, the San Diego Padres on a regular basis wear camouflage uniforms to honor the military in San Diego. I can't think of many other sports teams that do that. So that presence of the military in San Diego showed up a bit in our work. I think, you know, that's all a subtext in our writing. I think, you know, obviously the control of the San Diego hierarchy over working class in San Diego was very much obvious to us. But for us, it was more delving deep into our own experiences and our own cultural experiences. And we thought we had to, yeah, because we didn't see those present in city government, in culture, in the various public spaces in San Diego.
We are Chicano essence. We are boiling for the masses like moist hot air.
They were about being bilingual. They were about losing your language. They were about assimilating. They were about not assimilating. They were about jazz. They were about norteño. The Taco Shop poets were about being in high school. The Taco Shop poets were about being 40 years old and having been in the late 1960s activist movements. We had lesbian members in the group. We had all kinds of members who we ended up finding out had, you know, mental health issues, and were resolving some of this stuff through their poetry.
We are the modern language blue tattoos. We sashay in time. We make money.
He would divide an audience. One side he would ask for them to chant English, English, English. The other side he would ask them to chant Spanish, Spanish, Spanish. And right around the time, it was the time of the English only initiative, the English for the Children initiative, which ended up dismantling and doing away with bilingual education in California. So there was a very anti-Spanish speaking mood in the state. And so he was trying to break down how we speak, what we speak, how we perceive English and Spanish and being bilingual.
We are the 20-year-olds found in Buddhism. We are the 20-year-olds found in homosexuality. We are the 30-year-olds found in 2 a.m. bars with law school grads. We are the 30-year-olds talking Chicano liberation and 401ks.
We are the modern language blue tattoos. We sashay in time. We make money, money, take money, money. We the dream-inducing lullaby pressed through backbeat haze. We've been down since Grandmaster Flash. We are the rhetoric and doom and the old school bass boom. We are.
We are inside the glittered winds that are your eyes. We're in the birdseed doors that lead to dying idols after wars. We're in the pause of a private holocaust, in the scattered black webs that turn like diamonds into coals. We are twisted anywhere daytime hasn't died. Somos todo.
Somos todo.
Somos nada.
Don't blame him. Don't blame him. The taco shop made him do it. Don't blame him.
I'm about to go down to the taco shop. Got inside the burrito.
The taco shop made him do it.
Lengua.
Somos rice on the side.
Somos todo.
Down to go to the taco shop. You down to go to the taco shop?
Somos nada.
No, I'm down to go get me some taco.
180 days is not enough.
Somos todo.